You always hear the success stories of people making their first 5 figures, 6 figures, or even 7 figures per year from starting their own profitable online business. But what about the people who don't do that? What about the people who fail or even stay stuck? Well, over the last 6 months, my team and I have been working closer than ever with our clients to get them to make their first $100,000 online by selling digital products and online courses. And yes, that's why you haven't seen much new content from me uploaded to this channel. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, doing this has allowed us to see specifically why people fail. Why don't people get the results they want? It all comes down to 5 reasons, and I'll be sharing them with you in this video so you don't make the same mistakes. The first main reason why you aren't seeing results online is because you simply don't make it a priority. Right now, you may be looking at a bunch of different ideas, but you're not really committing to anything just yet. You might be looking at different business models, you might be looking at different niche ideas or different ways that you can make some money, and that's okay, we've all been there, but there's a limit as to how long you should spend in this phase. The people who struggle and stay stuck indefinitely stay stuck in this phase indefinitely. They never commit to anything because they talk themselves out of everything before giving it a shot. You might also use phrases like, I'll do this someday, or one day, you know? I'll do this one day. You may have said that before, but the way I like to think of things is you can either do this one day, or today could be day one. And this way of thinking is the way of a successful entrepreneur, because when you think, how can I get stuff done right now instead of someday, which of course never happens, you make it more of a priority. So that way you start thinking, how can I allocate time into this? How can I make short-term, temporary sacrifices in other areas of my life, which may not be as important as being wealthy and happy overall and providing for your family, spouse, whatever your reasons are? How can I do that in a way that will get me to my end goal as fast as possible? So you may think, well, I spend 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday morning lounging around the house, not really doing much. Guess what? You can allocate those hours to your online venture. Or maybe you go to the gym 5 times a week. Maybe you can go 4 times instead and allocate those hours to your online venture instead. You see what I mean? So you're looking for gaps in your schedule that you can create to allocate those hours to your online venture. The second reason why a lot of people fail or stay stuck when starting their online venture requires me to be a little bit blunt. So sorry in advance if this offends you, just keep in mind it is all for the greater good. And that is, I can't afford it. The truth is, no matter what your income level is, no matter what your situation in life is, most of the time, people don't lack resources, they lack resourcefulness. I believe that paraphrased quote is from Tony Robbins, but essentially what he's saying is people always have a way of getting what they want. For example, if I had a lottery ticket in my hand right now and I said to you, this is the winning lottery ticket, right? It has the winning numbers, the jackpot is $2.4 million, right? And I'm selling it to you for some bizarre, weird reason for only $10,000. You would find a way to get that $10,000, okay? If drug addicts can find a way to fund their lifestyle, I'm sure you can too. I'm sure you can find a way to fund your education, to learn the skills and learn the knowledge you need to have to get to where you want to be. And ironically, we'll talk ourselves out of these big purchases on coaching programs, masterminds, whatever it may be, the thing which is going to get you to where you want to be because we can't afford it, yet later, maybe a few weeks or a few months later, we may go to the store and splurge $2,000 or more on a brand new television, which we honestly don't need. We can put up with one we have, but we just think it's more physical, you know? For some weird reason, we don't like investing in our own education, even though that's what's required to get you to your end goal. And by education, I don't mean spending $7 here on an ebook and then another $7 here and then $10 on some software you're never going to use. I mean actually good education where you can engage with the expert and you can get feedback and you can be coached through the process rather than trying to figure it all out for yourself and then getting stuck halfway and declaring the whole thing doesn't work for you. And I know you may be saying, James, of course you're going to say that. You have a coaching program, you have a done for for you service. Of course you want us to buy your stuff. Yes, of course, that's how I stay in business. That's how I get all of my good testimonials. But whether you purchase from me or anybody else, do it. I'm not saying you have to buy from me. I'm saying, use the advice to get to where you want to be. The third reason why people fail and stay stuck when starting their own profitable online venture is because they try to get all of the details in front of them first before doing anything. But the thing is, if you can imagine starting anything new, it's fairly overwhelming by itself, right? And the more components you have of that thing that you're starting brand new, you barely know anything about, the more overwhelming it becomes. And of course, when you feel overwhelmed with anything, your brain comes up with reasons, which are actually excuses, for not doing the things you need to do to see the outcome that you want. For example, it might say, I can't afford it, I don't have enough time, I don't have the skills, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the authority status, I don't have an existing audience, I don't have the expert status, I don't know enough about my topic, I'm not an expert, I don't have anything, right? It always comes up with new things every single day, new reasons why we can't move forward, and that's mostly related to overwhelm. Instead, the best thing you can do is to focus on one thing at a time and do that one thing really well. It's like a racehorse, right? They have the blinkers on, they are not looking around at the other horses, seeing where they are, because that's going to put them off course, right? It's going to put them over to the side where they should not be. So instead, they're looking straight forward at the end goal and focusing on that one main thing. And that's exactly what you should be doing too. And yes, when you're focusing on just that one thing, ignoring everything else, you may question whether the next step is going to align perfectly with what you're currently doing. But guess what? You don't need to have everything lined up. You don't make sure that every single stoplight has a green light before you leave the house on a journey, right? You get to the first stoplight and then you wait for it to go green and then you move forward to the next one, and so on and so on. That's how life works. You can't plan for every single eventuality, and a lot of the time, the next step will reveal itself to you as soon as you are ready. Plus, there is no better way to learn something at the same time as getting results than actually doing it. Imagine you were stepping onto a plane and the pilot says, I've got this. I've read 200 pages of this book about flying a plane. We'll be fine. I would not trust that pilot. I don't know about you, right? The actual results come from doing the thing, of actually flying the plane, having all those training sessions of the simulators, the small planes and then the big planes and so on, right? And if you expect that from a pilot, you should expect the same thing from yourself as well. The fourth reason why people fail, stay stuck, and in this case even quit altogether, is because they don't understand the importance of conversion rates and volume. Now, this applies to you either now or in the future when you have got everything online and you are driving traffic to your brand new sales funnel, or what I like to call the profit process, and you're converting these complete strangers into customers, but you're not seeing the sales that you want. And you start questioning, did I do things correctly? Is there a mistake somewhere? Why aren't people buying? Is it the traffic? Is it something else? It's because you have that lack of knowledge. You have that gap in your understanding, right? And that gap is usually down to one of two things. It's because the conversion process, the sales video, the lead magnet, the webinar, whatever it is that you're using just isn't compelling to people. Therefore, your conversion rates are too low, or you don't have enough volume of traffic. I see this all the time with beginners who come to me and say, James, I've got all of the stuff online and I've driven traffic to it, but I'm not seeing any sales. Or maybe I'm seeing a couple of sales, but not enough to be consistent and make that large profit we all want. And I say to them, well, how many visitors have you sent to it? And they tell me about 20 or 30. And I'm like, well, 20 or 30 people is better than nothing, but let's put it that way, right? But from a statistical significance standpoint, which if you think of this scientifically and logically, 20 or 30 people is not going to make you six figures in a year, right? It's also not enough data, enough volume for you to start making sales, considering the fact that most sales pages, most offers convert at between 1 to 2%. And this is before any type of conversion optimization, optimizing the offer, making it more compelling to people, yada, 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 which we always do in our programs. But think of it this way. You would need at least 50 to 100 or more people, depending on the price point of the offer that you're selling, to even start to get a chance of making a sale. So you need enough volume for that to happen. Plus, once you have enough volume of traffic going to your website and checking out your offer, only then can you determine whether it's a traffic issue, maybe the quality isn't very good, they're not really looking for what you have to sell, things like that, or whether it's a conversion rate issue in your pages themselves. For example, if you have 100 people land on your sales page and only one person buys, that's a 1% conversion rate, which is pretty good for something at $100 or more, but anything less than that, you ideally want to have at least 2 in every 100 people purchase at the minimum, and then you can optimize your way up from there. So this helps you to make a logical decision rather than nothing is working and then panicking. Okay, so now we are at the 5th and final reason why people fail or stay stuck when starting their own online venture. If you've been enjoying this video so far, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed, and like the video as well if you found it valuable. But let's get into it. Have you ever assembled flat pack furniture? Well, imagine being given all of the pieces and the instruction booklet, which is like 30 pages long, and you don't really know what it's supposed to look like at the end. It wouldn't be very fun, would it? But when you see what it's going to look like at the end first, it creates a better perception of that entire process, because the whole time you're going through the process, you're thinking, I can't wait for this to be finished. It's going to look incredible, and I'm going to feel fulfilled by doing it. Well, the same thing applies to your marketing, because too many people focus on marketing the process or the hard work involved to get to the outcome rather than the outcome itself. People don't want the hard work. They couldn't care less how the outcome is achieved. They just want to get that outcome, and they want to be motivated to get to that outcome. Do you think it's going to motivate them to get to that outcome if they're thinking about all the hard work involved and you're marketing that in your sales process? Probably not, and that's probably why you're not seeing sales, right? For example, in the weight loss niche, you would not talk in your marketing about how difficult it is to have the right mindset to not go for your favorite snacks every time you get a craving, or how difficult it is to feel hungry, or maybe all of the nutrition you need to get dialed in to make sure that your body is having enough nutrients that it needs to perform at its best, or maybe to move more during the day, or maybe to have the right sleep. All of those things are important, of course, to get to the outcome, but you're not selling those things. You're selling the outcome of, for example, looking in the mirror and being happy with the way you look, or getting a compliment from their spouse, or maybe the cute guy they've been looking at the whole time at the grocery store or something, or whatever it may be, right? Think about things emotionally. What is your prospect going through emotionally that would motivate them to get to that outcome? So those are the 5 main reasons we've found when working with our brand new clients as to why they're not seeing the results they want online and they're not making sales yet. If you too are in the same position, maybe you haven't yet got started and you're looking for something which is proven, or maybe you just need some extra support, I encourage you to click the links in the description below to see which of our programs is best for you, and I look forward to helping you. Have a great day.